It's got to be a certain size of every species.
Right. The size minimums are set for each species, and some of them are a little easier than others just based on what they are. But generally speaking, it's what's considered a big fish. And so I
beat this in 4 months. I was done with it. Done.
Yeah, but you stole your brook trout from a kid's derby or something.
You know what? I do have to say, I did steal the brook trout from a child. Mackin's Rippin' Lips Fishing Trips. I don't know if you saw the posters. We just co-collabed. Chris is wearing the shirt. Our banner man, Eddie Mackin. He helped me finally get the Dows episode to happen. Just caught a big walleye. The walleye bite there continues to really be strong. It's a jerkbait bite. It's a little bit of deeper water. If you saw the pictures, Kronk just went out on a trip. They caught a bunch of nice walleye out in the northern lights. It was just really cool. I wish I could have went, but we were hunting. But yeah, Mackin's Rippin' Lips Fishing Trips. He's continuing to just pound fish. Currently, the fish there is walleye. The hybrids we are waiting for any day. So please call Eddie Mackin today if you're looking to fish Lake Hopatcong. Hello and welcome to episode number 76 of the NJ Multi-Species Podcast. I am your host, Joe Santiago, and as always, my partner, Chris Pereira.
I got my bobber mug with me this time.
The bobber mug is back that was missing from last week. Fishing-wise, we didn't even fish this week. Well, you might have. We hunted, and Chris got his first rack buck.
I shot that. Well, we don't know. We called it a spike, but it looked like the antlers were broken, the one I got last winter.
It's still a spike. I mean, it's a buck.
But,
it
was a nice size, but no, this one was cool. I mean,
first rack.
Yeah, I mean, for I guess a hunter that's been doing it a long time, like going after the really big ones, it's not that impressive, but this is only my the end of my second year. So
yeah, it was the most boring hunt I've ever been on in my life, and then the last 7 minutes of it were exciting as hell. Just happened out of nowhere.
I had given up hope, if I'm being honest. You're just kind of there, and you're just like, I guess nothing's going to happen this time. We'll just wait out the rest of the time. And then what was it, like maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes before
it was over? Yeah, I was looking down or something, and I heard you go like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I looked up, and there ended up being 2 nice bucks. Chris took a shot at the first one that actually came out. So congratulations, Chris, on his first buck. Maybe we could pop a picture of that up. I don't think it's online yet, but it will be. Fishing wise, did you fish at all? I did.
I did. Yeah, I did fish. Still trying to get Katie on that one more species of fish, and it's kind of like it's kind of like the Chuck Manny like multi-species adventure phenomenon. Like when you're trying to get a particular fish, it just becomes tougher. It doesn't matter what it is.
Well, why doesn't she change species maybe for a little while?
I know she doesn't care what species it is, but I'm going after the ones that I would typically fish for right now. So like she just needs one more. It could be
I need one of those. I need one of those myself.
Well, for anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about, the Skillful Angler program has it's a new old achievement. They had it for a couple of years. Didn't really seem like either nobody was going for it or nobody could do it. I did it once way back then, and then they just got rid of it. I guess people weren't getting submissions in. Their submissions jumped up, incredibly last year before, and they brought it back. So basically, you got to catch 10 different species of fish, each one over the minimum size requirement for what's considered a big fish. And it, I guess people will say, the internet will say it's easy and they could have done it, blah, blah, blah. It's not really that easy, but anyway, she's got 9 species, so she needs one more unique species that she doesn't have yet. You and I have,
and it can't just be any species, Andrew. Still, it's got to be a species of a certain size. He thinks that you can just send in any fish, and it's got to be a certain size of every species.
Right. The size minimums are set for each species, and some of them are a little easier than others, just based on what they are. But generally speaking, it's what's considered a big fish. And so I
beat this in 4 months. I was done with it. Done.
Yeah, but you stole your brook trout from a kid's derby or something.
You know what? I do have to say, I did steal the brook trout from a child, probably. And the brown trout, that's a fish I wouldn't normally get, a Skillful Angler. I stole that out of a club. So, yeah, I cheated, but I'm still proud of my cheating.
Hey, whatever, man. You did it. You set a goal and you beat it.
I beat it weird, though. I didn't get a walleye this year, which was one I always get. Or no, yeah, I did. I did get a walleye. I didn't get a hybrid, which I always.
Really?
No, I don't think so. One of them. I didn't get one of them. Who knows? Yeah, well, I got weird ones that I wouldn't usually get, and then the ones I usually do get, I didn't get. Not yet, anyway.
Well, that's kind of what happened. At the beginning of the year, Katie didn't really. It wasn't a goal of hers. She wanted to catch, big fish and whatnot, and she'd submit them. But the goal of getting 10 different ones wasn't really on her radar. But then, we're out fishing with Fishmonger. She catches a giant sea bass out of season, so she had to release anyway, and it was big enough.
Yep.
Then we're fishing a little pond for carp. She catches a giant channel catfish. It was big enough. Then she wanted to catch her first muskie. She ends up catching a tiger muskie that's big enough to qualify. So now she got 3 of the not weirder species, but just
I call them they're wild cards.
Yeah, basically. And for the channel catfish, I don't target channel catfish, so it was just an oddball.
And you also, for the record, you caught a muskie that was obviously definitely a qualifier and most likely the leader, but you had to just release. Actually, not even most likely. It definitely was the leader, but you had to let that fish go fast and couldn't get a picture of it on a tape. But I
was fishing with the muskie Nazi, Mark Madosky, and I had, one of those expensive spinnerbait, my spinnerbait, and that's what I caught the fish on. When he netted it, it tangled up into the net. And he immediately just cut my spinner, $20 spinnerbait, just cut it all up. Here, take a quick picture. Release. He had me in a panic.
That fish was huge, though. That was probably over 50, right?
No, I don't think so.
You think so? I bet it was 51. I'm saying 51.
I don't think so. And I wouldn't make that claim without measuring it anyway. It was definitely high 40s. I give it high 40 inches. I'm talking inches, not pounds.
I'm sticking 51 inches. I'm sticking with it.
Nah, I don't think so. But
Pop the picture up. Let the people decide how long's this muskie that you see right here.
Now I got to dig through the old pictures and find. Yeah,
I have that picture.
Tonight. But hold on. So anyway, you asked me about fishing and then you just wanted to skip it.
Okay.
I'd say so. The species she needs that would be more common is a pickerel over 24 inches.
She doesn't have a pickerel?
Nope.
Oh, I could get the pickerel. I know where to go for that. All right, tell Katie.
Pickerel over 24 inches. A perch, a yellow perch over, 13 inches? Or a salmon over 21 inches. What I usually fish for this time of year, I don't target pickerel. I don't target yellow perch this time of year. So we'd go salmon fishing. Every time she didn't go fishing over the past like 2 months, we caught Skillful Angler salmon. I caught one. Chuck Manny caught a giant one, the one that's probably a state record.
Mike Herman catches like 3 every day. 3 a day he catches.
Nah, I called him when I was there. He was actually at the same lake that morning. He said they hooked one and lost it, and that was it. And he gave me some tips, but I basically had the same day as him. We caught a bunch of.
The salmon fishing this year definitely didn't seem as good as it was last year. The
weirdest part to me, dude, is remember at the beginning of the season, early in the spring, we were just slamming on the salmon, but none of them were big. They were all the same size. They were all like that average cookie cutter size, like all the same stock of fish together. But whatever. I made a joke the other day that we should just hire Mike Herman to get her last species, like a salmon. But I think we're gonna end up going out with him in the next couple of weeks.
The pickerel's obviously the easiest one. I mean, you can go get that anywhere.
But it's the Chuck Manny multi-species adventure phenomenon. If you want it and you're targeting it, it's harder than
go to Max's lake and just get her a pickerel.
It's easier said than done.
Max is the perch master also. You know that.
That's a bunch of bullshit because I have 11 species over there. I don't have a yellow perch because I listened to Max and went to that lake with him to try to catch. And all the perch are huge. They're all Skillful Angler. Not a single one of them was Skillful Angler size perch. It's a dink factory.
Well, the only other news we have is the Gambler continues to make canyon runs. If you're interested in getting on a tuna trip, that looks like a lot of fun. I know a lot of people have been tagging me. Do we want to go? I don't want to go. Chris probably does. But yeah, Gambler's they are running the canyon, and they've been doing good too. I've been sharing the pictures into Multi-Species Mayhem. And you could see them there from the Gambler. Tonight's guest is Noreastr from Noreastr Hardcore Fishing Apparel. We're going to have them in a little while. NJFishing.com, 27 years as the #1 resource in freshwater and saltwater fishing in New Jersey. 100% free to sign up. All the info on there about every party and charter boat that you would need to know to get on a good one. Also, our Christmas party's coming up, just like last year. We're currently looking for a bigger venue because it's going to be bigger than last year. And obviously, you're going to have to be a member of NJF probably to go to the party. So you might as well just sign up now. Email Jerry Zagorski today and ask for a username and start talking on the NJF blog immediately.
Yeah, it's not done automatically because they don't want bots in there. So don't wait till the last second to do this. Go on there and do the sign up with the email and so that he gets you in. It usually takes a couple of days to a week.
Okay, so we have John and Marilou from Noreastr Fishing Apparel. Finally here, one of my favorite clothing brands to use on the water. I'm wearing one of my Noreastr hoodies right now. Guys, welcome to the NJ Multi-Species Podcast.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thank you, Joe, for having us.
Hey,
John, are you on a boat right now? Like,
that's my backdrop. I sit at my desk so much when I'm in meetings. I just want to feel like I'm on a boat. So I got my fighting chair behind me, but like I'm really in the fighting chair right here. I can just turn around.
So
that's great.
It is great.
That's actually great. Yeah.
We got so many questions emailed to us for you guys. I'm going to blast you guys with some of them immediately because we don't have all night. Jerry Zagorski wants to know how you went from being a rock star to a clothing apparel person, and he said that seems like a very big career jump.
That's karma at play. When I toured, there's two things I would never do. One, I would never drive, and I would never ever work a merch table. So like sometimes Marilou asks me, "What's touring like?" I'm like, "It's this." just I don't have to stay sober to play a set. But it's the same thing. But now all I do is drive 26-foot Penske's and work a merch table all day. So that's the karma part coming back to me. Now,
that's another question someone asked. Like at these trade shows, the Noreastr setup is like, I mean, it stands out from the other ones. It's like so just over the top and awesome. How long does that take to set up?
What do you think, Mary? Like a day and a half, not a full day, but whatever hours they give us.
A day to get the booth, I would say, and then another half a day to get the merch up.
I mean, wow. There have been times where we had like 2 hours to do it, and we get it done. But we might forget the flooring, or something. But we've been in those situations too.
And
the longest part at time probably is taken is John analyzing how to lay it out, because the booth is different all the time. So we have to adjust based on what we are working at.
Yeah, if it's a corner, if it's an L, and I know we get new products all the time. So like when we did Big E this year, I didn't know I kind of knew what I wanted to do, but when I got there and I saw the spot, I'm like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and then just start building.
Can I just double back? Like you were in an actual band, you were touring, making money, playing music. I didn't know that.
Yeah, actually, Sony bought the record company I was on, and now they're in the process of releasing a box set of all my albums, which I thought was pretty cool.
What's the band name? I didn't know this.
It was called Burnt by the Sun. I have a project band now too that's signed on Seasons of Mist Records, and it's just kind of like all the other guys tour for a living. They're all in famous metal bands, and kind of just a project band. We put one album out, and then COVID hit, and I was like, you know what? I don't really need to do anymore. But
So where do you guys come up with the idea for Noreastr? Where does it come from?
So I was living on a boat at the time, and I had a dream that I owned a company. In my dream, everyone kept coming up to me at the marina saying, "We love this Noreastr stuff, man." And it was like bibs and jackets and stuff, and it was so real. When I woke up in the morning, the first thing I did was design the logo I saw in my dream. And then even in my dream, someone was describing the end part of it to me. I don't know if you can see that there, but they're like, "Hey, it's almost like subliminal New Jersey, high tide, low tide, and I was like, yeah, we catch fish at all tides, man. And then when I woke up, it was just so vivid that I immediately designed the logo. And then I did a lot of black and white design because I really hate cartoony fishing shirts. And I'm a metal guy, came from metal. So all my original designs were really black and white, really almost kind of metal, black hoodies, black and white, kind of almost, dark but not dark designs. If you ever see the Mako with the blue fish with the blacked out eyes and stuff like that. That's where that all came from. It came from those roots, and I was in a hardcore and a metal band, so the hardcore fishing kind of flows into there too. It kind of all blended together. But I always loved music and I always fished. My family were both commercial fishermen, both sides. I grew up in commercial fishing boats, sport fishing. Fishing was my life besides music. And as I get older, I find myself going more back to my roots. So
isn't that's a similar story as to how Joe came up with this podcast? He just woke up from a dream and enhanced by something, I don't know what, and he just called me and started yapping about it. And I didn't know what the hell he was talking about, but here we are. What is it, 76 episodes later, still doing it.
You ever wonder, maybe the dream state's the real state, and this is the dream? I don't know.
That's true. The Matrix.
I wish.
Marilou, let me ask you, because my wife has asked me, and my wife fishes, but not that much, but she likes the Noreastr stuff. And do you design that stuff?
I do. Yes.
It is you, because you used to see women fishing on boats, and it looked like they were wearing shit that they borrowed from their grandfather. But you guys now have actual fishing clothes for girls that actually look really nice on girls.
We try to, and also I try to make it also functional. Like
Yeah,
the
that's
one
what I
that
mean.
the one that like we have now, the new one, the shorts. I did take my time in there to see like not only for like regular fishermen, but for like women who work on the deck. I talked to like several like friends who worked on the deck and asked them, what are you looking for? And yeah, like it's comfortable and it's a gear that you could work on. So. And I try, and also it's not only, I designed it so that it's not only like fishing looking gear, but something you could wear also when you go to the gym or
No,
just
it's
going
like
for
the
a walk.
shirt where the girl shirt where the tuna tail like comes up the top. Like that's a nice shirt, like to wear anytime. Like it's a nice. It's just the first shirt I saw was the Mahi Mahi hoodie. When I saw that, I said, who makes that? Like I need that.
Yeah.
And that pattern caught my eye.
Yeah, that's a picture of a fish that I just I wanted to do like a mahi shirt. But I'm like, why everyone drawing mahis when they're already gorgeous? So I actually called. That one wasn't one that we caught. I called Derek from Fisher Price. He was going offshore. I'm like, Derek, I need a photo of a mahi. Catch me a mahi. 10 minutes later, he had this big bull. He's like, will this work? I go, yeah, take a picture. And then that fish is made it on, we have gloves now. We have just about every product with that picture from that fish. And I just did the same with a bluefin. We just came out with the bluefin camel.
I saw the tuna one.
Yeah,
but yeah, the Mahi one, I first saw that and I said, who makes that? And then saw Noreastr. And that, I mean, from that point, you would see it every now and then, like, oh, Noreastr. Now, if you scroll through any, like, tri-state area fishing feed, you're going to see people wearing this shit because it's everywhere now. What does that feel like to you see so many people now wearing the clothes that you guys came up with? Like, it has to be overwhelming, no?
I'm my worst critic, so every time I see something, I always think of can we do it. Same thing with music. Like if someone we record an album, I'll be like, that sucks. We could do something better. Like the same thing with the gear. Like, and we change. Like probably a lot of this, like some stuff we're good now, but like sometimes we run things 3-4 times and we change it over and over just to get it perfect. Like we'll give it to a lot of the captains on the team and we hear feedback at shows like, oh, can you make this a little bit? Can you add like, make this like a tape seal thing? Can you do this? Like we just came out with the PVC bibs that I love with the zipper fly. And we already had some, captains ask, like, can you just put one D-ring right here? Like you have the D-rings on the winter bibs so I can hang the line clipper. Like, yes, we can. We can actually do that. So, so we tweak it based on what everyone wants. We're not ever like, okay, that's it, that's done, move on. Like a lot of times, like we just redid. What we just do 2 days ago? Just redid the whole Marlin shirt design. Still the Marlin shirt, was just just tweaked it so it's perfect now.
Yeah, and I saw you sent me the new rainbow trout fleece hoodie. You're starting to do a little bit of freshwater now.
Yeah, up north where we do that one like 17-day show, there's a lot of freshwater guys there, and they buy from us. But like I could tell, like they really were always hoping to have some freshwater stuff, and I didn't want to start off with like a largemouth bass because everyone does that. But I'm like, it's like a really like a beautiful and cool fish, So I started with the rainbow trout. I don't freshwater fish that much, so I'm probably the worst guy to say what's right, but I was thinking maybe doing like a smallmouth bass and maybe a walleye, other fish, maybe a northern pike. I don't know.
Chris is obsessed with fish skin, so he's a good judge of that.
Fish skin? Wow, what does that mean?
Like you always love the colors.
Yeah, me
of like,
too.
He's like trying to talk about a sweatshirt of which freshwater fish skin it would be. I
mean, I would. Did you check out what about like a brook trout? It's a New Jersey State freshwater fish, but I feel like you said something about you didn't like the really pretty fish, and I get that. Like you want a picture of a fish that's a little, I don't know what word to use, like not grimy, but like a real fish, not a pristine.
I really want it to be like the stuff to be like for the people. Are you like even this, like we have a shop in Ocean City, right? There's crab shirts everywhere. and there's like, you know, the silhouette of a crab, you know, some cartoon. Like when I made my crab shirt, I wanted it to be for the crabber, you know. So there's like a crab trap in the background. There's a bunker head in it, school of bunkers swimming in the background. There's two badass looking blue claws in there. One's in the trap, one's walking away. Like anyone who's loves crabbing, when they see that shirt, they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, because that shirt was made for you. It wasn't made for the tourist that just wants a crab shirt saying they were that's for the guy that actually loves crabbing. Like he's gonna get that shirt. Other people won't get it, but you'll get it, you know. But I'm like that kind of with everything. I'm trying to go for it. Like even the bluefin camo, that's so like the people that just think it's a gray like pattern, but like the commercial bluefinners that came in the booth up north when we were just there, like immediately went right to it and like that's brilliant. And you know what that is? Like, yeah, it's a bluefin. But like like 90% of the other people have no idea what it is. But he gets it. You know what I mean? That I guess it kind of boxes me in sometimes. But like, I'm trying to go for the people that actually really care about it. You know? I don't know.
Well, I was gonna ask. Yeah, I was gonna ask you kind of like how, like, what set you apart from? Because like Joe said, you go on any of these saltwater sites or whatever, and you almost always see someone wearing Noreastr gear. And like, we're big fans of Jerry and the Fishmonger. Like, think he's one of the best captains on the East Coast, if not the best bottom fishing captain. And like, they've got your gear on. You make gear for him, for the Fishmonger now too. And it's just like, I was gonna ask you what separates you, like what makes you that popular. And you're kind of answering it now, like with the, like, you don't just put a nice looking, like you put a real fish or a real crab like on your stuff, it's a real picture.
Even the shirt you're wearing there, Joe, that's the water in Costa Rica from one of our vacations.
Oh, so it's like actually
it's a shot of the water in Costa Rica.
See, that's cool. Like, that's just cool shit. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, some of the fish on the back, most of the fish are Marilou's fish that she catches. Like the mahi shirt with the mahi going with the hook in its mouth, that's one of Marilou's bulls. The marlin shirt is a shot of one of her marlins. You know, like, I try to take like the real footage, you know, stuff from what we did, you know, like I don't want to look like what other people are doing. I don't know. I've always been that way. It's probably why my music is weird too. You know, I don't want it to sound like everyone else. I don't want it to look like anyone else. You know, like I don't know.
Marilou, I see you reeling in a lot of giant fish, especially, and I think it's Cabo San Lucas. Is that where you guys go a lot?
All over.
That was the last trip. Yes.
Yeah, we have a boat there, so we go there a little more often than the other places. So our charter boat's there. So.
And you guys now have your first brick-and-mortar store, right? It's an actual store.
Yeah, we partnered with 353 Custom Tackle. Shannon's been she's one of the first ladies on our team, right? I think, Marilou, right?
Yes.
And she's just an incredible commercial bluefinner. She's been a scalloper, incredible rigger, and her tackle is like second to none. So she wanted to do a shop down, and she's from Ocean City. We don't really have a market base in Ocean City. We never really sold there, never really targeted it. It's a totally different scenario than the Northeast, like what they're into. Like different things sell there than here. You know, it's like the stuff that don't sell here sells there, vice versa. But yeah, we got together with her, and then we decided, like, you know, we got the permits to sell fresh seafood off the boat. So now we have like scallops coming right off the commercial boat. We unload them, come to the shop. We bought in a really good chef to make take and bake dishes to take home. We have our whole catalog in there, you know, showcased. And then we have Shannon does custom rigging. It's not like your average tackle shop. Like when you walk into a shop and you're like, yeah, I'll take this off the wall, this, and, you know, and go out and pay for it. It's more of like, I want a dredge and I want like this Imperium Stinger. I want these Squid Nations. I want some, you know, Joe shoots in there, and they re-rig it in the shop and build you these custom, like, you know, everything, spreader bars, Von cheese bars, dredges, swords, rigs, tile rigs, stuff like that.
Where did you say this shop was?
Ocean City, Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah, we drive 3.5 hours to work. It's great.
Yeah, you guys seem really busy.
Marilou wants to be less busy.
I'm sure she does.
She's ready to retire.
She's done?
She's over it.
I'm ready to retire.
I mean, I'm no businessman, but I don't think you'd have a problem when you're ready selling this company and actually retiring and just fishing for the rest of your life, if I'm being honest with you.
Well, you know what? It gets hard. Like, I'm 50 now. You know, we're not young anymore. And, like, I fill a 26-foot Penske. Our catalog just keeps growing. So it's like bins of PVC bibs are heavy. You know, I'm stacking a 26-foot Penske to the roof, front to back, solid, full, right? I'm not even joking, man. It's full. And some of these bins are 50 to 100 plus pounds. And when we load it up, it's usually just me. Marilou helps as much as she can. But when we get back from like a month away, like at the last show, it took me from like 10 in the morning to like 1 in the morning just to get it unloaded and put stuff back where it belongs. You know, it's just a lot.
She's tired from catching all the fish, so that you have designs for your clothes. So
yeah, that's why she catches the fish. My arms are shot.
All right, here. This is a really, maybe this is your last question because it's the toughest one. This is from Thomas in Tuckerton. Okay. Thomas says, "Hello, John. Nice to finally talk to you, even though he's not talking to you. I am. But he says he has 2 fleece hoodies, and they are my favorite hoodies on the planet. I would like to buy a third one. My only complaint is the front of all the fleece hoodies are the same. I cannot buy a third hoodie with the same front. Can John please make fleece hoodies with new fronts?"
All right, so some random guy wants a custom sweatshirt.
I think Marilou wants
Wait a minute, though. I got it. I have a fishmonger shirt and I have the Blackfish hoodie.
Yep.
And the front is the same. So I do know, because I want a third one too, like this guy. So I get his point. He's got a point.
So that whole thing came like, all right, I come from metal where all the prints are on the front, you know, so, you know, like when you get the sun gleaming on all your day, it just feels like you have this sticky thing on your front chest. But, so I never really was a fan of front prints for one, but two, like for me, we deal with a lot of charter boats and I'm more into promoting them than myself half the time. And, so like, I was like, all right, it works out. I'll give you anything you want when you're on the boat. What's happening here? There we go. There we go.
Looked like you were being...
When you're holding up a fish, you see my logo, but when the people are fishing the boat, all they see is your logo. So we both win.
That's true.
Captain's at the helm, you're in the back. When they're getting fish, you
guys do
the logos in the back.
You add like a little different graphic though. Like my Blackfish shirt has like a little crab on the front.
That's where I keep my crabs on fishing. That's why it
says Monger down the sleeve. So they aren't the same. They are different.
No, but I mean, I would love to get to a point where I could just put the N there and you would know what it means, you know. But I still feel like we're still trying to get our name out. We're in that like branding stage. So like, yeah, I'm sorry about my camera, guys. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. We could hear you fine. So
Marilou's good.
She's always good.
You want to hear something? You want to hear something funny, John? So before you guys came on, and Joe doesn't usually get nervous, but every once in a while there's guests coming on that make him a little bit nervous, and I call him out every single time. See the smirk on his face? So before you guys came on, he was sitting there. He had one of your hats on too, so he had the hat and the sweatshirt, and we made fun of him. Told him he looked like a Noreastr mannequin at the shop, and he got all embarrassed. So he changed his hat. So he got the Round Valley Trout Association hat on now.
Oh, so you had to blast me, dude. Okay.
You know what? Marilou says the same thing about me. I don't think I wore anything that doesn't say Noreastr in a while. I even made myself sneakers just so I had the whole set.
What's funny is when sometimes we go out and we did not pay attention to what the other is wearing, and then we realize, like, hey, you're wearing the same hoodie.
Yeah, we're like one of those couples, like, oh, they shop together, you know, like, you might as well just say, I'm with stupid and I'm with the beautiful girl over here.
Ben Wong is always Noreastr head to toe, like he's Noreastr everywhere.
But you know, I don't know. We both were software people too, you know, on our day lives and stuff. And I don't know, Brent, with getting back to the front of the shirt, to me, it's all about branding, like until I feel like the brand's enough and that I don't have to put my logo on the front of the shirt, maybe I will, like. And Mary Lou's been begging me for years, so you're on point, and she's always right, and you're just reconfirming it. So I guess you're all right. She's like, she'll make her own shirts. Like she'll take the back print and actually put the back print on the front and put the logo somewhere else and make just a one-off for herself.
Limited edition.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have shirts that are the print at the front.
Like the only one with a zip-up striper hoodie, like the universe.
Guys, I want to thank both of you so much for taking the time to come on the NJ Multispecies podcast before John's camera blows up. You guys have anything that you want to plug or make sure you get out there before you go?
Mary Lou, why don't you talk? Because I talk too much.
All right.
I want everyone that knows us knows enough that Noreastr is Mary Lou. She is probably 90% of this company. I design stuff and I'm good at talking to people and I do like the social on the website, but like everything else, to finding the right fabric for a hoodie, for performance, for the performance shirts, gloves, like she's up night and day. Just, I can't even tell you how much sampling she goes through. Like even on the ladies' leggings, like I could tell you, she spent 6 months just on the band. I didn't know it was that important to women. That band, the top of your legging, she literally spent 6 months adjusting it for 6 months. To me, they all look the same, but she puts her heart and soul in it. Just like when she fishes, she gives you that smile and doesn't say anything and outfishes you. And then she does the same thing with everything. But I can't even take credit for it. 90% of the stuff we do. And I feel bad because I talk too much, Marilou. You should probably talk more.
No, we both have our own, role in the company.
To me, it sounded like he just admitted on tape that you basically do everything. So if you leave him, you get the company. You get everything.
Yeah.
I'm a fanboy. We hope Noreastr does great. It's a New Jersey business. I hope you guys really do awesome and keep making new shit so we could keep buying it. And I wish you both the best. I love it. I hope, get me a mahi face mask. I've been trying to get a mahi buff for like a year. I can't get one.
Is there any more left?
No. I stole Jen.
No, we are. Are you looking for just because this is actually a quick question, our dilemma.
Now you're going to be our guy.
Yeah, just the regular buff like what we have, or I see people also that goes from the head that covers the head and a mask at the same time.
Some have the vents.
No, just the regular buff. I have the mahi
like a gator, right? A neck gator.
A gator, yeah.
Yeah.
You have it because I've seen Jen wear it.
Yeah, we sold that one, but we were trying to figure out, right? Because I don't really use them. So the guys down south use them because they get a lot of skin cancer on their ears, and that's why we made the gloves because I already have spots all over my hand here, like getting skin cancer on the hands from holding rods all day. But the buff thing, I don't know, there's so many options. We don't know what do people really want. Because I don't wear them. I don't know. That's why you brought it up. So now you're under the bus now.
I use the regular gator.
Just the regular, no vents for the mouth to breathe through. None of this ear cutouts and stuff.
No.
I do like the ones that. I think I have one that I like. I won't put on sunscreen. I'm not slathering sunscreen on myself. So I either use those or I burn a couple of times. And I'm Portuguese, so once I burn a couple of times, I won't anymore. But I don't know. I guess I'm just that you hear so much stuff. You're just scared you're gonna get skin cancer eventually if you keep doing that. But I like the buffs that are kind of shaped to your nose a little bit and have the vents. And the big thing for me, and Joe doesn't wear his glasses fishing. He has contacts, I believe. I always wear my glasses. And the big thing is some of those buffs, you can't breathe through them because it just goes right up and fogs your glasses.
Yeah, that's why I don't wear them. But you just named why I don't wear them.
If you could invent a buff that could cover your nose but not fog up your glasses, I think you'd have gold.
I'm going to fill the bus with that defogging spray. No, just
and there's people asking for hunting clothes. I'm not even going to get.
Yeah, you know what?
There's a hunting clothing call too for Noreastr.
These are all just your own personal questions, Joe.
Yeah, no, we started trying to mess around with that a little bit, but the problem is I don't hunt. So luckily, we know a few people that do. So I'm going to get info from them. I actually have people sending me pictures of the woods because I'm like, I want to do a camo, but I'm not licensing someone else's design. I want something my own. Yeah. So they've been out there taking pictures of like foliage and stuff of like the natural and habitat. Because if like I'm doing a pattern, I want it to be like our pattern. I want it to be real. If you're going to wear a camo, if you have a picture of the stuff you're in, you know, so we are working on that. And we have 2 logos too. I don't know if you know this. We have the Hardcore Fishing, but we also use a performance gear logo that we do when we make gear for other people. Because we've done stuff for like hockey players that like ex-NHL and Olympic players and like insurance companies and stuff that aren't fishing related. But for them, software companies will put the performance gear logo on there because it's not fishing related. So like with the hunting, it'd probably be under that category. It'd probably be just a Noreastr performance gear.
Gotcha.
I mean, I don't want to make another logo and have to say hardcore hunting or something like that. But.
Guys, thank you so much for taking the time to come on. Yeah. I really want to thank you. I know you're both very busy. Marilou, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yellow Dog Paddle, Mike Herman. I want to start calling him the Herminator. Can I call him that? The Herminator?
That's fine with me.
All right, the Herminator, Mike Herman from Yellow Dog Paddle. Katie needs that 10th fish to get the... what is it? The Grand Master Angler from Skillful Angler. So we're pulling out all the stops here because she's pregnant and we're panicking now. We're nervous as hell. She needs to get it, so we're bringing in the Herminator. We are going to try to get Katie on Mike Herman's boat and see if Mike Herman can get her that Skillful Angler salmon to seal the 10th deal. But yeah, if you want to be like Katie, you could also go with Mike Herman and Yellow Dog Paddle. So call Yellow Dog Paddle if you're interested in especially trolling. Like I said, you see the videos of my boat. It's a pain in the ass and cost me a lot of money. I could have just went back in time and just gone on Mike's boat and made a mess and gone home every once a month and not had to pay for any of this shit.
How many times do you think you can go fishing with Mike with the money you spent on your boat over the years?
I could go with him every month for the rest of my life and not buy this bullshit. That's how Frank Mihalik taught me. Frank Mihalik's like, right. He is right. He's like the greatest fisherman of all time that doesn't own a boat, and he's got the right idea. I've wanted a saltwater boat my entire life until I met Frank Mihalik. He's totally convinced me there's if you have a saltwater boat, you're just probably not making a good choice. Unless you're Chuck Manny and you need to do insane shit by yourself, then you need your own boat. But other than that, you don't need your own boat. You just go on other people's boat, make a mess, and then go home.
And what was your point, Yellow Dog Paddle?
Yellow Dog Paddle is going to try to break the record because me and Chris can't do it. So we're putting the pressure of a pregnant girl's fate into Mike Herman's hands here. So the pressure's on. We'll see if he could prove himself as he has all year. But yeah, call Yellow Dog Paddle. It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Cut the it's hilarious. So you just had to blast me in front of Noreastr, huh? You had to embarrass me.
You thought I was going to let that go?
Who was the last person that made me? I know for a fact this is episode 76. I've gotten nervous 3 times on 3 introductions, and 2 of them were recent. I don't know why. Forgot who the other one was, but I messed it up.
The one was obviously Ted Nugent.
That was, yeah.
There was basically a stain on your chair afterwards.
One of them was 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think. It was like...
I don't remember what the other one was. You're lucky. But, yeah, no, there's a pretty cool guest, Noreastr. I mean, you see their stuff everywhere.
You know what's cool about Noreastr, really, like I said, when I first saw that Mahi Mahi hoodie, I said to my wife, like, oh, who makes that? It's a really cool shirt. That must have been years ago. And like you said, now it's everywhere. They're literally like driving to these shows hours and hours and hours. Like they're grinders, those two. And they've become a success from what it looks like. I mean, like you said, you see it everywhere, and they're still, even though it's out there everywhere, they're still driving all over the place, pushing these shows. And like I said, I've seen him at the show. The display that they have is enormous. Like it's like, holy shit! It looks like you're in a store inside the show. It's just, so they really are hustlers.
And yeah, and I mean that's it right there, right? Like they're successful because they don't see themselves as successful yet, or as successful as they want to be. You know what I mean? Like they like he said it himself, there's always some way to make it better, which basically answered my question of why people are so into this stuff. Like like I said, if a captain like Jerry Pastorino, who is top of the line when it comes to bottom fishing, as far as I'm concerned, and I'll argue that with anyone. And he kind of, works with him, has him make his clothes like that. I don't know if team up is the right word, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know if a team up is the right word, but if you want a fishmonger shirt, I'm pretty sure you have to get it from Noreastr. I don't know how that works. I might be wrong. I have a fishmonger shirt made by Noreastr. And I know he makes shirts for other boats too. Like I know Fishmonger just came out with a hat, but it was sold out in like 8 minutes. I don't know if it was a joke and like Pastorino only ordered 4 of them, or if like 4,000 of these hats were gone in 7 minutes.
The second I saw it, I messaged him and I said,
"Me too,
hey, Jerry. How do we get one of these hats?" Like, yeah.
Gone.
He's like, "Oh yeah, they're gone.
They're gone."
And I'm like, all right. I mean, like if they're only for like your couple of your closest friends, you could just say like, no, I think they actually just sold out. Probably bought like 50 of them. They're just all sold out to his regulars immediately. The next trip he goes on, everyone's got the same hat on.
5,000 of them.
Looks like the chorus line.
Number. But anyway, yeah, the boys from NJFishing.com, Jerry Zagorski, Mike K, they just got back from Salmon River for 3 days. It hasn't been good up there. A lot of people are saying it's like the worst run of the ever. It's just been a shitty year. There's been like 3 days that have been unbelievable, and then the rest of the year has pretty much just sucked ass. There's no water. It's been too hot. They ended up having to go down to wherever into a drift boat with Mike Hayes' drift boat and throw spoons and drift skein for actual biting fish in the harbor, which they caught a lot of nice fish.
Isn't that cooler? That sounds so much cooler to me.
I mean, I've done that too. It's just different. It's not what you're going up there planning on doing, I guess, but it is an alternative. I'll tell you one thing. If you don't like bobbers, you're not going to like that shit, because all it is bobbers. You're just
I love bobbers.
Well, we love bobbers, but most of our viewers hate bobbers. So
I wouldn't say most of our viewers hate bobbers.
I don't know about that. If you're watching this, let us know if you hate bobbers. Email me.
If you hate bobbers, you have a mental problem. You got something psychologically
bass fishermen
wrong.
Hate bobbers. If you're a bass fisherman and watching this, please tell Chris you hate bobbers, because I know you do. Thomas Wyatt.
If you're obsessed with bass, you got a psychological disability. That's it.
Thomas Wyatt is listening to me say the word bobber, and he's cutting himself open right now to let the pain out because he's so mad.
Hey, let me ask you something real quick while you're on the topic of Salmon River. Before you move on and
I'm leaving. On a side note, me and my children are leaving in 3 days to go to Salmon River to a run that doesn't exist. All right, go ahead.
Well, yeah. Well, so what I wanted to say is, so when we put out last week's episode, right? We usually put the episodes into groups and stuff where they're relevant. So we put it into like these, upstate New York salmon groups and stuff. And I was 2 or 3 guys replied very enthusiastically that basically us and our guests were wrong about these fish not biting, and that they could consistently target them from a drift boat with plugs and stuff. Now,
Yes.
I've done this for steelhead. I've done it during different times of the year, not this time of the year. I saw a lot of drift boats go by and park in the main hole below the lodge over the last 3 years, and I never saw any of them doing this. They were all just doing the fly fishing drift, same as the guys waiting. So
I've seen them throw J plugs all the way up the Salmon River. Obviously, the higher up the river you get, your chances are getting worse. But those salmon are guarding beds. Once they're in spawning mode, they're guarding beds. If they get pissed off, they're gonna bite it. I said that on the episode. I've seen it before. I actually was fishing with a sponge one time in DSR, and a freaking coho. It was a silver coho. Whacked it. I mean, it whaled it. This was not a flossed fish. It whaled the thing. It must have just came into the river. I thought it was a steelhead. It was so silver. I got it. And DSR actually posted on their website as a huge steelhead that got caught, but it wasn't. It was a coho salmon. But yeah, they do bite. But the higher up the river you go, your chances are getting not good.
But like what I'm saying, so everyone knows, it's not a 0% chance that they will bite, but it's pretty slim. All right. And the further you go, like you said, it gets even slimmer. But these guys were talking, and I don't know if these guys are just trying to brag because they want to stroke themselves on the internet. I don't really know. I didn't even really look who was saying it. I don't know who was saying it.
Well, the one guy called out Craig McGinnis's picture and said, "Oh, that's a yarn ball, and it would never eat that. And you snagged it." That's actually not a yarn ball in the picture. That's the top membrane of a skein bag. So he was drifting that skein bag under a float, and that salmon devoured it, and the float goes down, and you're fighting the fish. That's all McGinnis does. He has a house up there fairly close to the, wherever that area is. I'm not going to blow his spot up, but fairly close to the mouth of wherever he fishes, and that's all he does. He throws J plugs and drifts skein.
Well, so my question, and I asked these guys, I guess that was one of the guys, I don't know who that is, but him and at least two other guys, I feel like they said the same thing. Basically, they made it seem like it was very consistent that they could catch the fish actually biting on these plugs, skein sacks, whatever. My question to them was, and I didn't have an answer last time I looked, but I'll check back, see what they say, but I'll ask you the same thing. And I basically said, if you can target these fish in a regular way where you get them to bite and it's consistent enough, how did that turn into a fishery based solely on snagging fish?
Because they don't base the fishery, they don't call it snagging, they call it flossing.
It's okay. It doesn't matter. You're snagging him in the mouth, but they're saying that you can get the fish to bite consistently. How does that turn into a fishery where you're snagging fish?
Down at the mouth of the river, you could maybe get them to bite consistently. That river has a biomass. A lot of fish make it to the hatchery, but a lot of fish get pulled out on stringers.
They were very clear that they could do this consistently up the river.
No, I call them out then. Bring them on the podcast. I want to talk to them.
That's I'm not calling them out because I don't know. But
Craig McGinnis, if he's listening, will tell you that they are wrong. McGinnis will tell you that they do bite up past there's no point, like somebody on the podcast said, they're after this point, they don't bite anymore. That doesn't exist. They'll bite anywhere. But I think the higher they get up the river, the chances get lower. But I do see because I stay at the Tailwater Lodge, and right behind the Tailwater Lodge is the wire hole. I constantly see drift boats in the wire hole, and they're throwing J-plugs. I don't see them catching anything with it, but I see it every time I'm up there. The guides wouldn't be doing that shit if it was unsuccessful. So at Oswego, that's all they do off the wall is skein, sacks, and J-plugs. When I go to Oswego, I love float fishing, skein for salmon off the wall. When it turns to steelhead, I do the same thing, but switch it to an egg sack from skein. But yeah, the salmon, when the bobber goes down and it's a salmon on, it's cool. But I still think the whole river thing, the sight fishing, snagging, the fill, the stringer, the hanging out with the boys, it's more of a traditionary thing. Whatever. It is, like you said that one time, fishing is what you make it for yourself. And so salmon fishing for you is whatever you want it to be. And that's that.
All right. We could agree on that. And I mean, if anyone's listening and wants to specifically talk about targeting salmon in the river with lures and getting them to bite or skein sacks, whatever, we have one date open in November. We have the week of November 11th open for a guest. We're trying to get, and if anyone's listening to this and wants to give their opinion on this, we're trying to convince Andy Still to do a kind of series episode, whereas like he'd come and do an episode like this every once in a while, whether it be once a year, twice a year, something like that, where because he has all these old pictures, and it kind of made us think
it's kind of like a fishing Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, like a time machine episode. I think I call it Andy Still's time machine episode, where like he comes on, he shares some of the old pictures, and then I felt like I was like stealing from Joe Cermelli with the Polaroids.
Oh yeah, well that I like that shit. The olds, I love it. But hey, Andy has a lot of them.
Andy still has a lot of old pictures and probably hilarious and awesome stories.
So call out Andy Still, everyone listening, troll him, call him out, tell him we want the time video thing. He wants to talk about all the old stores from New Jersey that went out of business. He has pictures of them.
Yeah, when I confronted him about doing it, I said, "Hey, I'm leaving this date open for you." He got all nervous that he's like, "I'm taking notes, I'm trying to remember the stuff, and I'm writing it down." Like he's nervous that he'll forget the key points of the things that we ask him. Like he's just taking it way too serious. But trying to get him on for that, if not November 11th, at some point. So. Break his balls about it if you interact with him online. If he has you blocked or you blocked him already, then tough shit, I guess. But
yeah, well, next week's guest, I think, is Old School Outdoors is next week, right?
You finally got one right, Joe.
Finally got one right. Old School Outdoors. I'm going salmon fishing this weekend with my kids. I will be posting videos if there's any fish there. I think Chris is going away on vacation for the weekend or something.
I got roped into a non-fishing trip, but I will be near.
I forgot other big news too. Okay, you go first.
I was just gonna say I will be near water, so I will have a fishing rod. So we'll see if I can nab something.
Okay, Eddie Mackin was finally able to make the Dow's podcast episode happen. So the Dow's podcast episode is gonna happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm actually going to do it from Dow's. I'm going to go there. I don't know if Deuce is going to come with me. Chris might be there. Chris might have to stay home because of the baby being born at any second. But yes,
it's going to be that far in the future?
Well, we're setting it up. Not that far in the future, but we don't have that many dates. It's probably soon, but yes, we're going to do a podcast episode from inside Dow's Tackle Shop, the legendary Dow's, while it's open. I know you guys have been asking for a Dow's episode for a long time. It's going to happen, and I'm going to do it from inside the store, which should be cool.
All right, that's cool. This is the first I do the scheduling, and this is the first I'm hearing of it. But whatever, it's cool.
We just finally made it happen. We didn't put a date on it yet, though. But yeah, sometime in the winter when
Do they want Andy Still's date of November 11th?
No one wants Andy Still near them or to talk to them. He's a weirdo. I post a different fish every week, and he tells me I'm out of my comfort zone, that I won't leave my comfort. I literally post a different fucking species every week, and he tells me I'm afraid to leave my comfort zone. What are you talking about?
How do you still take anything he says seriously?
I don't. All right, we'll be back next week with Old School Outdoors. I'll let you know how much salmon fishing sucked. We'll make fun of Chris for going on vacation to do finger painting or whatever the fuck he's doing.
It's not a vacation. It's just a concert. It's not a vacation. It's not finger painting.
What band is it?
I have no idea. I got roped into it.
You're going to, you know who it is. You're just embarrassed to say.
No, I have no idea who it
is.
It's like an oldies concert. It's got a bunch of people. I have no idea who they are.
Is it Taylor Swift?
No, it's not Taylor Swift. Wait, you nuts?
All right. We'll be back next week after the Taylor Swift concert.
Suffer for the Swifties.